A fillet weld is also used on a T-joint, and this is very similar to a lap weld, except you don't have that outside edge heating up quickly. On a T-joint, the top side of the weld is going to require more heat, so angle the rod into the corner to push the puddle up. If the rod is not angled enough to allow that molten pool to flow out to the top, you may leave undercut. With 60-10 or 60-11, always bring the arc back to the leading edge to fuse the corner. Angle the rod to push the puddle up. Watch the top side to avoid undercutting. The filler rod, 60-13 or better yet 70-18, will provide more weld deposit. In the flat position, hold the rod nearly perpendicular to the weld, making sure the molten pool is flowing out both on the top and the bottom. Try running straight, maintaining a uniform arc gap and travel speed. If you need a bigger weld, try using a larger diameter welding rod or stacking up weld beads. Overhead is the same as flat. Hold the rod nearly perpendicular to the weld, angled to push the puddle up. Maintain a uniform arc gap and travel speed, not letting the metal or the weld deposit overheat. For more weld, stack beads from the top down. On a vertical T-joint, downhill is easier. Use a modified circular motion, always coming back to the leading edge, then pushing the puddle out to the sides. Set the amperage high enough so the puddle spreads out and travel fast enough to stay ahead of the molten filler metal. Watch both sides to avoid undercutting along the edges. 70-18 uphill will build weld faster. For the first pass deep in the corner, angle the rod up slightly. Pay attention to the arc gap, following the base metals into the corner and along the sides. This is very subtle. It's just a little movement into the corner as you're coming across, but jamming the rod into the sides cools the weld down, and long arcing across the center creates more heat. Most of the problems with running uphill come from not maintaining a consistent amount of heat. When the arc gap varies, the heat varies, making it difficult to adjust the travel speed to keep the filler metal from spilling down. Try to maintain that arc gap. As soon as the puddle flows out to the side, move into the corner and across to the other side. Let the puddle flow out and move back. Set the amperage and adjust the travel speed so you don't have to wait too long on the sides. As you gain experience and physical control of the rod, you can try to carry more metal uphill. But while you're learning to weld, just get that first one deep in the corner, keeping it uniform and avoiding undercut. If you need more weld, maintaining the arc gap on the second pass is a lot easier. Depending on the amperage setting, slow down or hesitate on the sides until the puddle flows out. Move across the center a little quicker and slow down to let the puddle flow out on the other side. Then just side to side, keeping the upward progression tight. For heavier metal and more weld buildup, you can either stack weld beads side by side or use a weave bead. T-joints in any position will draw in the direction of the weld. If you can get to both sides, alternate welding on one side, then the other until you're finished.